Let's go over 5 ways to shake up your dynasty in college football 25. Some of these tips will be good for your current dynasties, others will require you to make a brand new one. Make sure to stay tuned for the last tip as it might be the most difficult. If y'all enjoying the content, make sure I like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to check out my Twitch. We are doing a new live streaming series with a 1-star school, so go check that out. We are a community here, man. Make sure y'all drop any ideas y'all have down in the comment section. Hey, y'all might help me. I'm doing my series, my Temple, my Twitch series as well. Y'all might have an idea that'll help me with my series or help someone else, so make sure y'all drop anything down in the comments. In the background, we got the Temple Dynasty going, man. Make sure to check out that series, having a lot of fun with it. But my first tip for you guys is going to be make the transfer portal more interesting, man. In real life, if y'all know anything about real life college football, the transfer portal is going crazy. It's been going crazy for the last 2 to 3 years right now, but in college football, it's not that crazy, man. Year 1, year 2 is, a little crazy, but after that, it kind of just mellow out. Well, we found a way for you to make the transfer portal as crazy as it is in real life. Make it that crazy in the game, man. I dropped a whole video on how to do this. I'll link it down below, but I'll essentially explain what it is. You could force any player in college football to transfer. Any player, man. You could force Travis Hunter to come back and play another year of college football. You could force seniors to continue to play college football. Shador Sanders, other seniors out there, Jalen Milroe, you could force them to come back and play college football into the transfer portal and go to a different school. You could do that. If that's fun, do that for you. But what I'm going to suggest is go to your big programs, man. Maybe your Alabamas, maybe your Georgias, whoever, and look at their starters and their backups, man. And some situations, it'll be a senior who's a backup to a sophomore player, and he might be an 87 overall, but that sophomore might be a 90. He's never going to play that senior. Well, you could go in and now force those guys to transfer, and you could do that for a lot of different teams, man, and it will just spice up the transfer portal a lot. You could use AI to help with the transfer portal and forcing what players or what teams are going to have people transfer out, man. In real life, the transfer portal is random, man. You got some guys that completely make sense why they enter. Other guys, they've been starting their whole career at this school. They're already at a top program, yet they enter the portal, a complete question mark to us. For them, it might be money, but we'll never know why they truly enter the transfer portal. So my point here is it's almost random some of the players entering the portal. So to kind of get that random effect, what you could do is ask AI, hey, randomize these 20 teams, these 10 teams, and then also how many players, random number, how many players should I force from each team to enter the transfer portal? So let's say you do all the SEC teams, and for Alabama you get 7, the random number. Well, now you got to go in and force 7 players to transfer. Georgia, you might only get 2, force 2 players from Georgia to transfer, whatever, man. You could literally go through and just spice up this whole entire transfer portal. You can force every quarterback in the country to enter the transfer portal. If you just want to reset the whole entire quarterback portal, you could do whatever you want, man. Tip number 2 is going to be take over a college program and force every single win and loss that they did in real life, man. Let's say Marshall, man, a team that had a pretty solid season. They won their conference championship, but they did lose their head coach, and so many players hopped into that portal that they couldn't even play their bowl game. Let's say you take over Marshall. Well, guess what? You could go on on3.com and you could see every single player that entered the portal. And when you take over that school, you could force every single one of those players to transfer. And then now you're taking over the roster that's, supposedly a good school, supposedly a good program, but they have so many players in that portal. It's going to be very different that next year, and it's going to be on you to now build that roster up. Only issue here, you won't be able to bring in the real life players that school brought in. For example, Colorado. They having a solid portal window, man. They brought in Caden Salters from Liberty as their starting quarterback. You want to take over Colorado, you're going to have some of the big dogs leave your school, but you probably won't be able to bring in, a Caden Salters. Also, some of the other guys they probably going to have come in at some point. So it's not going to be one-to-one, but it's at least somewhat realistic to pretty much what the game will look like next year. My next tip is going to be to create a super conference, a power conference, whatever you want to call it. Take over whatever program you want. It could be a 1-star, it could be a 3, whatever program you want. And then take the 15 best overall schools. You can see everyone overall. Take the 15 best. Dump them all in the SEC, man. Every single one of those schools, dump in the SEC. dump yourself in there as well, man. So you're now in that conference with these big dogs, and you could go into the conference settings and you can make it where you play 12 conference games. Everyone in the conference plays each other. You play no out of conference games. It means it's no easy weeks, man. If you thought the SEC was hard, well, add Oregon, add Ohio State, add some of the other big dogs that's outside the SEC, and you create this super conference where every single year you just got to play a gauntlet of a schedule. And it's going to make it tough to also make the playoffs, to even win your conference, to even make your conference championship. It's going to be super tough. So I think this is something I might consider doing for my Temple Dynasty, just because we're at the point where we're a powerhouse, man. We playing some of these bad teams in the Big Ten. Listen, so I'm thinking about just making a little bit of a super conference. This is another idea that you could do right now for your dynasty. You don't have to create a new dynasty to do this one. You can implement this right now if you already have one going. And also with this, if a team is doing bad, or maybe the worst team in the conference, worst 2 teams, worst 3 teams, well, guess what? You could transfer them right out the conference and bring in whoever's the next best, man. Whoever's doing well. Almost kind of like that promotion and retention. Just keeping the conference fresh and keeping it competitive, man. Keeping the best 16 teams all in that one conference. If you don't want to do 16, if you want to do 12, you can do that as well. I believe you could also split the conference in half, and then you also could do like the east, the west of the conference. You could have a lot of fun with that thing. My next tip is going to be AI related, man. You can use Chat GPT or whatever you want to use for this. You could ask them to give you a random team out of the 134. Once you get your team, let's say you get Tulane. They give you Tulane, and now you ask it to give you 3 random tasks, goals to complete over the next 3 to 5 years with this Tulane program in College Football 25. And they'll come through and they'll give you tasks. Maybe have a leading receiver, or have a receiver lead the nation in receiving yards, or have a Heisman candidate, win the national championship. Whatever they give you, if they give you something bad, you can always re-roll it, ask for a different option, whatever. But essentially, this will give you some motivation, some ideas for what dynasty. Some people struggle with what team to pick. Like, why not just have AI pick it, man, and have them give you the goals, the tasks that you need to do, or even the challenges. You can have them give you challenges. They'll tell you, don't recruit over 3 stars, don't do this, don't do that. So they'll actually give you some stuff that's pretty difficult. And once you complete that, the good thing about AI, you can just go on to the next one. You can ask them to give you another team and another set of challenges, another set of tasks to complete, and you can just keep going along throughout the year and having some fun with it. My last and probably the most difficult tip in this video is to only recruit your school prestige, man. And y'all might say, oh, that's not that difficult. I'm a 3-star prestige. I got, a bunch of 3-star players I could recruit and go out win the national championship. Listen, when you start off as a 1-star school, and you're not able to recruit up, it is super difficult to get that school prestige up, man. I did it. I did a 1-star to a 16-0 challenge on my channel. It took me so long to get that school prestige up, man. And I was recruiting everyone. I was recruiting above 3 stars. I was recruiting 4 or 5 stars. It takes a while, man. One thing that really boosts that school prestige is getting players to go to the NFL. Well, if you start as a 1-star program, well, guess what? You ain't having no players go to the NFL if you only recruiting 1, 2-star players. It's going to make it super difficult. If you want to make it a little bit easier, allow yourself to recruit 1 star up. So you're a 1-star program, well, you can recruit 2 stars, man. That'll make it a little bit more, a little easier. But I suggest go all out. If you're going to make it difficult, make it difficult. 1-star school, you can only recruit 1 stars. Also, you cannot touch tactician, man. I'm going to keep saying that. I think tactician is the most cheesy in this game. Most cheesy. Some people saying, well, you was taking advantage of the recruiter and, going all out with the recruiter. I get that. But the thing about recruiter and tactician, recruiter, you actually have to do some work to get the recruits. You actually have to recruit them, schedule visits, put the hard sell on, soft sell, put the hours in, all of that. You actually got to do a little bit of work to get these recruits. Yes, recruiter does make it easier, but you still have to do some work. Tactician, all you got to do is press the button and you just get a boost. You don't have to do anything else. You get a free boost. Tactician is the one where it boosts all your players, man. It'll boost your players by a good amount as well. And then when you get the offensive and defensive coordinators, you get a crazy boost to some of these players. 7, 8 overalls. So I suggest don't touch tactician. Make this thing difficult, man. No tactician, you go into every other category you need. But tactician gonna make it a little bit too easy in my opinion. So for my temple rebuild, I do not go in tactician at all. And I will not do it for none of my rebuilds. I just think it's too easy. Like I said earlier in the video, man, make sure to drop any tips down below. Like, comment, subscribe, go to my Twitch, follow me over there, man. We're live streaming, doing that series, going crazy, temple rebuild as well. Appreciate y'all for watching. We on to the next one.